Eh, eh,
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Recap, Season 1, Episode 8, The Well. This post may contain affiliate links, which means I may receive a small commission, at no cost to you, if you make a purchase. When most normal people think of Thor, I'm sure they think of the obvious Marvel on, you know, the golden-locked, rippling muscle dude from the movies, including the one released a couple of weeks ago. There's clearly a huge promotional tie-in for this week's episode. We don't get to see Thor, he's off the grid, and Coulson doesn't have his phone number 'cause they aren't besties like that. But Norse mythology and Thor references are all over this episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. However, I will just put this out there, when I think of Thor, honestly, I totally flash back to Adventures in Babysitting, and that version of Thor, the mean mechanic who softens when reminded of his essential Thorness by little Sarah. Late 80s references, people, that's what I'm here for. At any rate, this was one of those episodes that takes place out in the world at large. Which is usually a good thing for S.H.I.E.L.D. We learned that all those Norse legends aren't about mythical gods at all, but rather aliens, and we got to see some Norwegian Fight Club type action. Ward gave us a reason to understand why he walks around being as emotive as a brick wall most of the time, too. Perhaps most edifying, though, is my new excuse for the next time I freak out on someone. Sorry, I accidentally fell on the Berserker staff. Should totally work, right? Superhero star. The aforementioned staff, a powerful relic that allowed Nordic warriors to fight like rage-filled, unstoppable beasts, only they were really Asgardian aliens, but tomato. In present-day Norway, the ringleaders of a pagan hate group have tracked down one of the broken pieces, thus imbuing themselves with the burning hatred of 1,000 suns. Subsequently, they do things like run around Norway rioting and flame-writing things like, "We are gods," in the streets. Also, pretty sure Kanye would be super into this idea. There's a fun scene in a grimy basement, wherein a whole slew of people touch the staff and Hulk out. I'm thinking a new version of Fight Club, augmented by this staff, would make a great movie redux. Even as the gang runs amok, they're on the hunt for the remainder of the staff, to make it whole again. Agent action. The agents are tasked with cleaning up one of Thor's messes, from an unseen battle. Dude is hella cute but never picks up after himself. After investigating the forest scene where the original piece of the Berserker staff was found, they head to Spain to consult with a Professor Coulson knows, an expert on Nordic mythology. Professor Randolph gives them several clues as to the locations of the remaining missing pieces, leading the team to a church in Seville. When Ward and Skye investigate, Ward finds Professor Randolph trying to flee the church, staff in hand. During the scuffle, Ward grabs the staff, has a flashback of a drowning boy in a well and passes out, leaving the professor to abscond. However, the Hulk hate group runs into the professor and snatches the piece of staff from him before Coulson can intervene. As the team regroups on the plane, Coulson interrogates the professor, who insists he just wanted to be a part of history and study the staff. Meanwhile, Ward is acting all intermittently ragey, pacing and snapping and saying really hurtful things, "You guys." Skye attempts to help him, sensing his flashback is about his brother, but Ward storms out. Between his anger and the continual drowning flashback, he tells Coulson he's worried that he can't do his job properly. He also explains that, in order to function, he's locked painful childhood memories deep inside of himself. If we're feeling generous, this might explain why he goes around acting like a mannequin all the time. Maybe. But Coulson's not worried. In fact, he tells Ward to put that rage to use and wield it against the professor in interrogation. When Ward threatens the professor with a knife, though, the professor bends it like nothing, therefore revealing he's actually Asgardian. Coulson already suspected this, of course. After all, no one's affording a fancy-ass pen on a lit prof's salary. As a professor myself, I concur. It's more like Bic pens from the dollar store, guys. Professor Randolph explains that he never liked having the Berserker staff and accidentally revealed the true story of its origins centuries ago, not realizing people would still be after it now. The team travels to Ireland to find the final piece of the staff, house in a monastery. But guess who's also there? Yep, the OGs of the hate group. The professor gets stabbed in the heart, leaving a flummoxed Fitzsimmons and Coulson to help him. How does one resuscitate an alien? Turns out, if you're Coulson, you just kind of smash your hand all up in it, find a heart, and start squeezing until the alien's body can regenerate itself. Meanwhile, Ward has no choice but to top off his rage fuel yet again. He grabs the staff and goes to town on the hate group baddies, leaving him exhausted and shaken. As he fights, we see the full flashback that's been tormenting him. It was his brother in the well, put there by a bully who won't let Ward help him out. As he recoups, the female half of the hate group enters, but Agent May's got this. She snaps the whole staff together and takes care of business, as only she can. When all is calm, Coulson contemplates picking up the staff to try and see what really happened to him in Tahiti, but decides against it. The staff is picked up and safely stowed away, and the agents get one night in a nice hotel. Sky again tries to talk with Ward, telling him she's got a free shoulder, but he gently dissuades her and heads up for the night. But wait, y'all, what's this? As Ward is unlocking his door, he sees May walking to her room, bottle of booze in hand. They make eye contact, May nods, ever so slightly, and then walks into her room, leaving the door open for Ward. I did not see that one coming, did you guys?
No.
As we close this episode out, we see Coulson in a tropical paradise, receiving a massage. This is not the stuff of typical nightmares, but when Coulson wakes up shaking and sweating, it becomes clear that it's his worst nightmare, or planted memory, or whatever. Coulson really needs to figure this shiz out, right? We Heartsters, okay, should Ward and maybe Team Way or Team Mard? Do you ever wish you could, just for a second, have access to that berserker staff? Did you see the new Thor movie? All photos. Via ABC, Marvel's Agents of SHEILD.
Yeah. I'm going to remember and um, um,